In the fall of 1993, I was 17 and I had been suffering from severe depression for some time. I had to cry about it every day. I finished a course of Accutane pills which made my mood swings more erratic even though it cleared my skin. I decided to just end my life in this horrible reality by overdosing on sleeping pills sometime around 10:30 p.m. There was a Perseids meteor shower taking place during that time. I remembered a few pills were missing from the box, but I took most of them. As I ingested the pills, I wondered what would become of me. Will this be painful? I thought, it doesn't matter. I went to sleep. Then I remember experiencing the most frightening and enlightening experience. NDE felt like my spirit was free and removed from my body. Not being in a body made me feel vulnerable and scared. It was so dark and I heard a whooshing sound. I didn't know where I was going. I was so afraid I would never see my family or this reality again. To be dreadfully honest, you don't know the meaning of scared until you end up in that void. I felt ripped from reality. I felt my soul wobbly, floating in an empty dark space of blackness. I couldn't see anything. It looked like space without stars. Only my thoughts still existed. I do recall feeling cold, but not the kind of cold you feel when you are alive. It was a soul cold. I wasn't sure why my spirit was chilly. Unless it has something to do with not having a body and nothingness. It's not the type of chill you can warm up with a blanket. Earth as I remembered it seemed like a matrix. Just a dream I could never return to. I felt like I was awake for the first time. I wanted to be with my family. I felt like I would never find them again. I felt like I was lost in an empty deep space without stars forever. I couldn't believe how lost I was with no one to reach out to. I was terrified. I kept thinking how ridiculous I was to fear the little stuff on Earth in comparison to being in a void. I felt lied to about my existence. I was angry at God for carelessly allowing me to be in a void. How could a loving God do this to me? Was this the ultimate reality? Floating in the void forever with just my thoughts. This event still bugs me to this day. I screamed a silent scream because I didn't have a body to vocalize my thoughts. It was telepathic communication, but it seemed like nothing was there to listen to me. All I could see was limitless darkness from every angle. The earth seemed so compartmentalized in comparison. I believe I escaped the void when I pleaded for God to bring me back to my family. That's when I ended up in a large, dimly blue-lit room with souls that appeared to be on the ground. I was floating above them before 3 large screens expanded and surrounded me. I had a life review. Time was different. The past, present, and future seemed to be connected. I remember seeing my family. I was with them as a young child playing in front of the motel they once owned. We were next to a birch tree. I felt their love. It felt like I was living the scene all over again. I was in it, but it was a review. I began to sense something powerful. I knew it was a higher source meeting me after my life review. I was embarrassed and I felt very shameful and insignificant. An invisible guide told me I had 10 minutes to choose to go back or stay. The voice had a male sound, but it was hard to determine. A lovingly blissful light shone down on me from above. It surrounded my spirit and I finally felt peace. I felt at home, safe and unconditional love which I never felt before on earth. I asked the guide and God what was the purpose of life. I heard a pause and sort of a sound of someone sighing. It was as if this entity felt I should know the answer. It said, the purpose of life is to love. I remembered darkness, unlike the inky black void I experienced earlier. It felt like I was going through a tunnel because I heard a whooshing sound. I then woke up in my room. My senses were heightened. A light mist surrounded everything. Then, I could hear my heartbeat stop. I felt my mortality and I became very angry. I could feel my life slipping away. I fought for my life and asked God, how can you kill off my soul like it doesn't matter? I am real and I don't deserve this. When I look back at that moment, I think I was feeling shocked from being removed from God's presence. Feeling the decaying energy of this world can be a shock. I managed to get up. I got on my step machine for a minute, hoping to get my heartbeat going. I stopped after 2 steps. I stumbled to the end of the stairs on my parents' side of the house. I tried to wake them up with a silent scream. I didn't have enough energy to yell. So I tried to pound the stairs and yell. Fortunately, my mom is a light sleeper. She woke up and called 911. The medics arrived and wanted to know how many pills I took exactly. I told them I didn't know. Was most of the box because some pills were missing. I made it to the hospital and they injected me with medicine. The doctor said I should have been dead and I was lucky to be alive.